Yeah, so we started talking there. Our church had a really good adoption support group. Lots of families adopting internationally, adopting domestically, adopting through an agency, adopting through private adoptions. Lots of different stories there, and through foster care. And so we joined that small group and started walking. We didn't walk the path alone. We had lots of people to go at it with us, and we were able to walk along with other people too. So that was a gift. And so we looked at international adoption. Originally we had looked at international adoption, and we chose Kazakhstan. But then the Lord closed the door on that time, and when the Lord opened it back up to us, we looked at international adoption, and we said no, that was too hard. We said, looking back, if I'm honest, we put limits on God, and we said that's way too expensive. We just cannot afford to do that right now. And so we said no to that, and there's lots of other options. So we looked and we found a Christian adoption agency, and we started the process with them.
Yeah, and it was still, tens of thousands of dollars for that adoption, and we didn't have that kind of money, but
No.
We did start raising money and doing fundraisers in different ways that whatever we could do. We were babysitting for small groups at church and doing whatever we could to raise money for the adoption process. And then one thing that kind of happened as we were going along, we were noticing through our agency that there was a whole lot of waiting parents and very few babies that were needing to be adopted. So we started wondering, should we even be doing this? Are we just getting in the way of those parents who can't have children getting matched up? And we didn't want to do that. That wasn't our reason for adopting. And so we talked to our counselor about that, and one thing she said is that what they really needed is people who are open to hard-to-place adoptions, which we were, because they did not have many of those people. And so we said, well, just limit us to those hard-to-place adoptions, and we don't want to get in the way of others.
Yeah, and hard to place can mean children who have special needs, physical problems or developmental problems, but it could also mean a different race. Sometimes a lot of times people want to adopt children that look just like them. And so we were open. So it was a hard day. It was a hard meeting. We went and we sat down and we had the form, and we had to check what we were willing to say yes to and what we were not able to handle. And there were a couple of things that we said we just couldn't do that, but we said yes to most of those things. And I remember crying through that list of things and wondering what the Lord has in store for us. So we waited and we waited and we waited. And the adoption counselor said, this is probably going to mean you're going to wait longer. But we said, this is what we're going to do. So we got a phone call. We had 2 adoptions that did not go through. One was a baby who was born with Down syndrome. The mother was not expecting that, and she was a single mom. And she had narrowed it down to us and another family. And we were very excited about this. We never got to see the little girl, but I remember sitting at a coffee shop with this mother. We met with her through our agency, and she cried and she looked at us and she just said, "Is this a sin?" And Daniel was able to sit, I'll never forget, where he was sitting here and she was sitting there and crying, and I was crying with her. And Daniel said, Joseph adopted Jesus into his family. And that seemed to really comfort her. But at the very last minute, at the 11th hour, she ended up choosing another family who had children with special needs with Down syndrome in her family. And so adoption is a roller coaster, because we were happy that little girl now has a family, but we were also sad that it wasn't us. So there's a lot of ups and downs in adoption, but through I think especially the downs, there's a lot of sanctification and growth that comes through that, and comfort from the Lord and from others.